And thank you for joining us today. We are here for On Track Community Profiles, and we're here at the new Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow Main Street Media Center. And we are here today for a spotlight on Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow AYSO. And joining me today are Karen Kuhn and Matt Evans. Both are volunteers with Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow AYSO. Karen, you are the regional commissioner for Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow AYSO. Could you tell me a little bit about what AYSO does?
Sure. AYSO is the American Youth Soccer Organization, and we are a community-based volunteer organization that we basically work to bring soccer to the children of this community and enrich their lives through the sport. We have about 600 children in the program. We have probably about 50 or 60 different coaches and other volunteers who come together every fall and spring to bring soccer to the Tarrytown.
That's great. It sounds fantastic. What ages do the kids start playing soccer in the community?
In our community, you can actually start at age 4 and go all the way up to, I believe, 18. We have some players who are still playing in our U19 program. So it basically encompasses, your entire youth you can play. And we're actually moving into a second organization that will help adults play. So it's growing.
That's great. That's great. And so where and when do you play?
We play on Saturdays and Sundays typically, anywhere from probably mid-September to mid-November, depending on how the holidays fall. And then we start up again and play in April through mid-June. So you'll get 8 weeks in the fall, 8 weeks in the spring.
And is it just playing, or do the kids actually practice? What's the whole
setup? Right. We usually we have a couple different programs. So U5 and U6, you'll do probably 45 minutes of practice, and then whichever kids are there, they'll split into small-sided games, 3-on-3. And then for the older children, once you get to U8 and up, you'll do a practice on Saturday for an hour, and then you'll have a separate game for an hour. And then we have other programs where they might do a midweek practice and a Saturday game, but typically you've got the 2 sessions, so a couple hours a week of good soccer instruction and fun.
Wow, that's great. So there are lots of organizations out there, sports organizations for children. Tell me, what separates you from the rest of the pack? What is AYSO about?
I think what really separates us is, like TNT and some of our other community sports organizations.
TNT is what?
Our Tarrytown baseball and softball program.
Okay.
And what we do is we basically have coaches who are volunteers. A lot of them are parents. Some of them are parents whose children have aged out of the program who'll still come back. So, it's basically people who are part of the community, and we come in and we train the volunteers in how to teach soccer. We have certain standards and principles that help make it a better experience for kids. And these volunteers come in every weekend. They're out there with their friends, with their kids, with the neighbors, and it really truly is a community experience. And we take anyone who's interested and can train them. So you don't have to be a soccer star. Some of our volunteers have never touched a ball, and they learn to play and learn to coach. Other people, maybe you're not ready to be the coach and in charge, so there are other positions that people take. We have referees, we have assistant coaches, we have just people in charge of volunteers, people in charge of lining the fields. It's really a big effort of our community to bring all of these games to Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow every weekend.
So now you mentioned other roles, and I'll ask Matt, what do you do for AYSO?
Well, I am the regional referee administrator, so I overlook all the referees, set up coverage of games, making sure that the referees are trained properly, and that we have a uniformed, trained referee to support the games, because it's a very important part of the game. I'm also Karen's assistant as her regional commissioner, so we work together to try to continue this great program in our community.
So at any level, you have various opportunities for people to volunteer, whether they want to volunteer an hour a week or more than that. There's always an option for people to volunteer. Tell me, why do people volunteer? Why do you think, and maybe you'd like to start with your experience, why did you volunteer? Karen?
I mean, for me, I was a soccer player for many years, and when my children started playing, I wanted to sort of give back what I was given as a child. Like, my father coached me for a long time, and it was a great opportunity for us to have time together. And for me, having played, I can give back a lot of what soccer gave me. I learned a lot about teamwork. I had a lot of fun. I actually got to go on a program to Australia and play for 4 weeks, which was amazing. Wow. Learned about the world, met different people. You know, it's brought a lot to my life, and I like to give that back to the children who are here and maybe teach them some of the skills that I know as a player. There are other people who just, you know, want to have time with their children. There's some whose children have aged out who still continue because it was such a great experience for them. There are people whose entire families have been involved for many, many years. So we have some like husband-wife combinations who coach. I actually have a father and his father coaching the son. So it's a nice way for not only for the parents to be together with the kids, but sometimes it's a whole family experience. And then there's some people who don't even have kids of their own at all who just come coach because they love it. And it's great for them to get out there and to give back to the community. And coaching the kids is a lot of fun. You learn a lot from them as well.
Oh, that's interesting. I would agree with you on that. Now, Matt, I know you're also, obviously you're a volunteer, but you also coach teams and you're a referee. So tell me a little bit about your experience with as a volunteer and why you decided to volunteer.
I volunteered because when I was young, I played for AYSO as well, excuse me, and I enjoyed the experience when I was young, and I wanted to, like Karen, give back to the community, my passion for the game, as well as being involved with my kids' lives. I think it's a very important attribute as a parent, and the community. I love this community, and it does so much for its youth, and I want to be part of that experience.
Now, AYSO is a national organization, so you have a lot of support at that level. Although you are focused on your particular community, tell me what other types of programs do you offer through the national AYSO organization?
Right. Our national organization does provide a lot of support. They have whole training programs that they provide, and then on a local level, we'll run courses based on their curriculum. The whole idea is for balanced play, for equal play time for kids. Safety is number one, and really the goal is to teach kids to play soccer, but to have fun while doing it. So throughout all of the organization, you know, we're promoting similar standards, and then we have different communities that run AYSO programs. So in our community, the younger kids tend to stay in town, and then when they get older, you'll actually go and play people from other towns who are AYSO teams. So it's fun to get out there and see the same thing and say Briarcliff or, you know, Croton or Ossining, and you get a little bit of that Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow spirit. And then we also have some other special programs. We have an extra program, which is for our more competitive players. It keeps the same standards of AYSO with the balanced play and teams, you know, really trying to promote competitive play between teams and not teams blowing each other out with high scores. You know, you want to get as many touches on the ball. You want the kids to have fun and learn as much as possible. But these kids can play this on a more competitive level. And then we also have a VIP program, which is a program where for special needs kids, and they come together and we actually have buddies. So these are other soccer players who are youth in our program who come out with the coaches, and they work one-on-one with these kids to give them the same opportunities in soccer.
That's fantastic. So in other words, you pair up players who are playing in the AYSO core program with the special needs children. And what's great is they're learning to give back to the community as well.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's called the VIP program.
That's correct.
That's great. I know, Matt, you're doing something also at the national level. There's a national games, I understand, that happen. How often does that happen?
I'm glad you asked, Kevin, because they happen every 2 years, so it is a special occasion. 2 years ago, it was taking place in Hawaii. This year, it's being taken place in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where we'll be heading this July 4th weekend, holiday week. And in 2 years from now, it will be taking place in Torrance, California, which is actually the birthplace of AYSO, celebrating its 50th anniversary. So it'll be exciting. That'll be a really special occasion.
So now you say that we're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. Does everybody participate? How does that work?
That was a very tough decision, Kevin. We at the U12 age level, I coach girls because of my daughter. We have a very large talent pool. So it's a very tough decision to try to decide what girls were going to participate. And obviously, we were looking at the participation level paired with the talent level, and whether the parents and the family were willing to make that commitment to the time, as well as traveling during that that special time, the nation's Independence Day. It's hard to make that commitment. So it was a difficult decision, and we didn't take it lightly. We, myself and the other coaches, sat many hours deciding who was going to be on the team and then whittling it down. And some parents wanted to participate but couldn't make the time commitment. So it was definitely a challenge. But
obviously, there's a lot that goes into the selection process.
Yes, sir.
But tell me, you are actually taking one team. Is it open to anybody, or do you decide consciously as a group that we're only going to participate at a certain age? How do you determine which team will go, or whether you're sending one team, two teams?
There's actually a national lottery system that happens.
Okay.
So each region, so Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow is a region, we can submit applications for different age groups. So we put in for everyone, basically. Then it's a very, very complicated lottery process where they prioritize and have tiers, because they want to make sure that they're spreading out the placements to get as many people in from around the country as they can. So this year, the U12 girls were one of the age groups that we were able to get a spot for. And then we just made a decision in the beginning based on the age of the children, if they're willing to make that commitment, the coaches who are available, because this is on top of everything else that we do all year, that we have this additional training to do. And the competition level is much, much higher than what we're used to. So you not just only have that commitment for time and fundraising, which is a very, very big part of it, but also you have to train. And it's going to be tough, but the kids love it and they have a great experience. So we're hoping, every year we'll continue to apply, and hopefully we'll have coaches and parents who are able to do it, because it's a lot of fun. Or every 2 years, I should say.
Every 2 years,
2
right.
years, yes.
And how many teams participate in national games? Do you know approximately?
I don't. I know it's a huge, huge tournament. So
it is national, so obviously they're going across the entire country, so it must be huge.
The opening ceremony will actually be taking place at University of Tennessee's football arena. So I mean, this will fill, with all the parents there to watch, and it's going to just fill, and there's be a whole parade of teams coming out, the referees coming out. It's going to be just a joyous occasion.
That's wonderful. So these fortunately selected players on this particular team will have the opportunity to experience this. How do you think they would be able to share that experience, although it's not the same as being there? When they come back, what kind of opportunity will they have to share that experience with the rest of the community? Have you thought about how they might be able to, are we going to record this and put it up on some sort of a website that we might be able to share? This sounds like a great experience.
In this day of social media, I'm sure
right.
a lot of the girls are going to be posting stuff on their different social medias that they use, and that'll be one way of sharing. And then, of course, nothing beats the good old-fashioned word of mouth, and they're just going to come back and have some great stories, and they're just going to create this bond between them that will last throughout the rest of their schooling, and as well as soccer experience in the community.
So do you think maybe one of the girls could be in charge of a team blog to maybe post your progress down there, because I'm sure that everybody back home is going to be following and cheering on, and they're going to want to know the latest. So
I'm sure that will absolutely happen.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. So all this sounds great, but we also know that it takes funding.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know how that works. Does AYSO Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow, do they fund this, or is this a personal expense that the girls must take on?
Well, that's a good question, Kevin, because it's that the region or the national organization that we've mentioned does not pay for this. It's going to come out of the parents, the families who have committed to this. And we don't want to have to, we're a mid-class family, we don't want to have to have that burden. So we are trying to raise funds. We are having our first official fundraiser, I guess, will be held on May 11th at the Setback Inn on Main Street in Tarrytown. That is a Friday afternoon, happy hour starting at 6. And we're going to be doing raffles, as well as there'll be some finger foods to pick at. There will be a door fee to come in. Don't remember off the top of my head, but it's not that much. And like I said, we'll be holding raffles, as well as just having a few drinks for the parents, of course. And then we'll just hopefully get some funds together. We are planning a pancake breakfast as well as holding bake sales through the community, and just trying to get the word out there, parades coming up, Memorial Day, stuff like that.
So basically, within the community, grassroots type of fundraising, and whatever you raise will help support the players, but the difference would have to be carried by the players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know there's a question of whether you make the best pancakes or whether I make the best pancakes, and that might be worth people coming out to support the program, because just to support me, really, because I know I make the best pancakes. Right? Okay.
All right.
With a little help from Aunt Jemima.
Tell me, how do people find out more information about AYSO? Is there a website? Tell me where people can get information.
Our website is AYSO and we've got all the information up there on how to register. We have information on our program and how we set up play for the different age groups, because it does start out from a small-sided 3-on-3 game all the way up to 11-on-11 for the older children. So you can learn a little bit about how that works. And basically we keep it up to date, every week with weather, and we don't really have score reporting because it's one of the things that we play for fun. We don't broadcast all of that, but it's a nice way to just see all of the teams that are playing, where they're playing, and if you're interested, you can have a look.
Okay. Now, obviously you can register your kids on the site directly there, and you record it, and then they'll be contacted about where they're supposed to go and what have you. And the volunteers can also register on this site?
That's correct. Yes. Okay. Yes. We have this is another benefit of being part of a national organization, is they have a great registration system. So parents and parents of children who are going to play and parents who want to volunteer can go on and pre-register, and we've got instructions on how to do it. And we have spots open for kids in the beginning of the season is September. So if you register in the spring through the summer, early summer, we can guarantee spots. If it's a little bit later, we may have wait lists, but we really try to get every child a spot if we can, because it's great fun and we want them to be able to take part. And we do offer scholarships for kids who are in need.
So it is open registration for volunteers and for players.
That's right.
So you can sign up at any time.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether the season is started. It doesn't matter. You basically will try to find a spot for anyone who's ready and willing to play or volunteer.
Right, right.
Okay.
If we can't get them in, we can't, but we do the best we can, because we really, truly want to get every child out on the field.
Right. And the resources are there for volunteers, so they're not left out on their own to figure things out. So all the training at whatever particular role these volunteers take on, there's the support at the national level and the local level.
Yes, yes. They have an amazing system. They use webinars, they use online training, they have courses for coaches where they have classroom training and field training, and there are all sorts of books and videos and resources that you get which help give you great ideas, so you don't feel like you're out there on your own. And then in addition to that, we have volunteers who are coach administrators, there's Matt and myself. We're there, we can help if anyone needs it. So.
Yeah. And you also do, I think, national sets up regions. What region is Tarrytown?
We are, what they say is we're in Section 3, Area T, Region 220. So the area is the Hudson Valley region, Westchester. I think there's some in New Jersey as well. And then the larger section is actually the Northeast. So it's really well organized, and there's just a lot of support back and forth. The different regions or towns here talk all the time, and then, there's sort of like that larger support network that they get to run their programs.
Okay. So Section 3, for instance, will have a conference annually, and it gives a chance for people from all over Section 3, which has a pretty big area, and you get to meet people from all over that section and interact with them, get to know them, share experiences, and it really, I think, probably helps you be a little bit stronger and go off feeling great about what you do, and share with the people back in your own locality, right?
It makes you feel like you're not alone, that there are other people out there sharing the same situation that you've been, that you go through,
Right.
Because there are definitely hurdles in running an organization like this, and we get through it together. We support each other, and we keep in mind that it's all about the kids, it's all about the youth.
Yeah.
Well, this is great stuff. Thank you both for joining us today, and best of luck for your season, this season.
Thank you.
And also best of luck to you for the national games.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
And remember, everybody, support this great organization. And thank you also for joining us today at the new studio here, Tarrytown Sleepy Hollow Media Center on Main Street in Tarrytown. And for Community Channel 15, thank you for joining us today. This is On Track Community Profiles.